Very good evening to my dear MOS members and the ophthalmic fraternity who have joined today. This is a very interesting webinar. As you all know, out of the 21 committees, we are now today hosting a webinar by the MOS Personality Development and Public Speaking Committee. We have with us an international motivational coach, our in-house consultant, Dr. Anuradha Tote. More about her by our moderator, Dr. Aarti Heda. We welcome you, Dr. Anuradha, to this show. You have been very, what we say, cooperative. In whatever I say, you are always there to deliver. And your excerpts and the talk and the panel discussions are excellent. MOS is really benefiting. More about you and as in the subsequent talks also. Next week also, you're joining us. I'm glad to tell the audience to be with us next week too. Along with this, we have Dr. Udayan Dikshit, my senior, my real guide and a real critic. Whenever I have a problem, he is always beside me. My close friend, Dr. Sangeeta Wagh, she is also always helpful, very cooperative, and a real human person. Whenever we want her help, she's always beside me. And really talented people we have with us. Dr. Trupti Kadam, she is a live wire. She's there in the investment group. She's always ready to help. And today's moderator, the young and dynamic Dr. Aarti Heda, she is going to moderate the whole session. So we have a star team with us. So friends, be with us throughout this. Today's topic on healthy relationship in the professional and personal front. If you're aware, nowadays with the husband-wife working, the relations to maintain a cordial way has become difficult. And that is why we are here today. We have with us, as I just said, the international star with us. So I now hand over the session to Dr. Aarti Heda, moderator, who is going to give a good introduction about our speaker, the star speaker, and all the panelists. Over to you, Aarti. Welcome you all to this grand session.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening to everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Anuradha. She is winner of prestigious Ishwar Chandra Award in DOMS. After completing her ophthalmology DND, she has done MBA and MA in psychology. She's certified Kathak dancer. She has won first prize in TV dance show Dam Damadam along with her daughter Mansi. She is certified international trainer JCI, Junior Chamber International. She's first lady 5-star trainer of JCI India. She's been selected and sent to USA as a group study exchange member. She's represented JCI India as team captain for World Debate Championship at Hong Kong. She has conducted various motivational and life skills sessions at Turkey, Nepal, South Korea, Bhutan, and Germany. She has received the most prestigious award for a life coach, Ravi Puraskar. So National Public Speaking Championship held at Visakhapatnam is another feather in her cap. She has been faculty for the most prestigious program of JCI India on leadership. She has been judged for the national level iconic trainer contest. She has also written a book, What We Miss in Medical School. She's conducted training for all age groups and all sections of society, including corporates, and delivered speeches on various topics. I have deleted few of her achievements because in interest of time. So it's an honor, Dr. Anuradha, to have you here with us today as the speaker. And over to you for your talk, Dr. Anuradha.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Aarti, for the wonderful introduction. And first and foremost, I must thank Taswala sir, Rajesh Joshi sir, and team MOS for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And as we all know, the topic today is healthy relationships. I feel the topic is not only important, it is interesting as well. So why do I say so? Actually, we are all aware that that things are going haywire and relationships are in a mess today. So if we look at a study which was conducted in Britain, it says that 6 out of 10 people do not have fulfilling relationships. It's really alarming. And it might be the same case in India. लेकिन हम है जो survey करते नहीं हैं और and then we are, we live in a fool's paradise and we are happy with that. But that should not be the case. We should really take this into account, and we should go ahead with introspection and really taking measures for healthy relationships. So I share my screen now.
Yeah.
Yes. So I come up with another study, which is also a very important and interesting study, which says that this was the longest study. This is the longest study which was conducted by Harvard Group, and this is the adult development study. It was conducted on 724 people, and this was conducted for 79 years. Imagine. So this is the longest study, and it says that actually they were not only given questionnaires, but they were also investigated for the same. And the conclusion of this study is now Robert Waldinger is the director, and in a TED talk he has said that the conclusions are bold and clear, and the conclusions are that good relationships gives you a healthier and happier life. So it is very important to have healthy relationships. And to add to it, of course, why do we want healthy relationships? Of course, to decrease stress, to keep diseases at bay. It contributes to success in a big way, because when you are good at this front, you can concentrate on your own goal and you can achieve success. It delays aging for the ones who really don't want to age, and it boosts memory, and there are many reasons to be happy. And the important fact is someone is always there on your side. That is a feel-good factor. There is mental support always. You get help when needed, and this always increases your self-esteem. And when your self-esteem increases, life is jingalala. It's wonderful, right? Yes. So now let us peep into your lives. You have to peep into your lives. It is going to be an interactive session. So I request all of you, at least I am sure you are having your mobiles with you, if not a pen and pad. Okay, so take your mobiles and write down the answers to this questionnaire. You just have to answer like, is it always that you are doing it, or is it sometimes you are doing it, or it is never you are doing it, except for the first question. For the first question, you can just write yes or no, right? And that yes will be considered as always. So first question, and you can just write A for always, and S for sometimes, and N for never, right? Do I have true friends? Is the first one. Keep on writing very fast. I want all of you to participate, okay? Do I squeeze out time for my family at least 5 out of 7 days in a week? Do I relate well with the people at my workplace? Do I have a support system to fall back upon when things go wrong? Do I use my smartphone only for essential things? Do I attend social gatherings? Do I solve my conflicts in a day or two? Do my children share their secrets with me? Do I share my feelings with my spouse? Do I accept myself the way I am? A very simple questionnaire. Now, your answer, it's a very, very rough calculation of how you're doing at your relationships, right? So people who have got more than 7 as the score, now you have to give your score as, when you have written always, it is 1. Add 1 for 1 always. And we are going to add only the always. So if your score is more than 7, then you are good at it. Not excellent, but good at it, okay? If your score is 4 to 7, then fair enough, it's okay. You're doing okay, but you can improve. I mean, even the good ones can improve, but the fair ones have to improve a little bit more. And If your score is from 0 to 4, I am very sorry. You are poor at this and you need to put in a lot of efforts. So the main point here is always introspect, and that is what we don't do. So you have to sit with yourself and introspect where I am going wrong. Am I going wrong? And if yes, where am I going wrong? Well, now there's a drastic change which has come up in terms of relationships. रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते अब भी है. तब हम माँ बाप को पूछते थे, अब हम उन्हें वृद्धाश्रम का रास्ता दिखाते हैं. रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते अब भी है. तब हम प्रियजनों के साथ मिलकर त्योहार मनाते थे, अब हम फॉरवर्ड को फॉरवर्ड करके त्योहार निपटाते हैं. रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते अब भी है. तब विश्वास की एक मजबूती थी, अब अविश्वास की धुन छाई हुई है. रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते अब भी है. तब हम रिश्तों को जीते थे, अब हम रिश्ते निभाते हैं. रिश्ते तब भी थे, रिश्ते अब भी है. So it is high time, dear friends, that we have to work on relationships. Now, what is a relationship? We all know that it is a bond between two people, but something more than bond. Let us clear our concepts about relationships. So let me tell you, friends, that I had gone to visit my friend, and she had a beautiful house. And in that beautiful house, what caught my eye was a flower arrangement. There were beautiful flowers in it. There was a lot of fragrance, beautiful flowers, and the whole room was, it was so positive and so fresh. And it so happened that I had to go to that friend's house after, say, 7 or 8 days. And I had some work, so I had to go to her house. And when I went again after 7 or 8 days, what did I see? I saw that the flowers had lost their color. They were drab and colorless, and it was smelling, it was stinking. And then I asked her, iska kuch kiya kyun nahi? You had to do something about it. So what she said was, kya fark padta hai? Fark padta hai. Fark padta hai. Relationships are also like this. If you don't nurture it, actually, you have to always remember that relationships are living bonds. This is very, very important that we know that relationships are living bonds. And anything which is living has to come to life. It has birth, it has a course of life, and it has death. It can be terminated. So we have to take utmost care. So any relationship you have to nurture. You have to add some manure. You have to give sunlight to it. You have to put water. You have to nurture all kinds of relationships. Second incident which I would like to tell you is, I was doing DNB at Shivaji Hospital, Karwa, and just across the road was a flat system. And can you imagine, the world is such a small place. A very good friend of mine, like in 7th, 8th standard, in school days, she was my bestie. So this girl happened to stay there, and this girl was now married and she had a child. And I was so very happy to meet her and so very excited. And I was so really, really happy that she was staying so close by. She was not staying there. Her mother's place was there. And she had come from US to meet her mother. And then her mother invited me. I went to her place, and I was expecting all that warmth and love and all that friendship which we shared years back. But it so happened that she was so engrossed in her child. She was feeding her child, and she was, trying to give him food and water and whatnot, that she hardly, gave me any importance, I should say. And that really hurted me. That really hurted me. And I was really, really sad, and I came back. But after a few years, when I became a mother, then only I realized how important it is for a mother to feed her child, and how important it is, like, your children take the topmost slot in the priority list of a mother. So what I mean to say is, I was the most important person in this person's life many years ago. And now what has happened? Things have totally changed. Yes, things will change. Always remember that relationships are dynamic. They are going to change. Even if you remember, like in your courtship, your would-be husband was on the topmost priority slot. What happened after marriage? What happened after children came? The children took the topmost slot, and your husband had to go down. I mean, it keeps on changing, and it will always change. So we have to be ready for the change. Remember that relationships are dynamic. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you some pearls to manage your relationships. So be very attentive with this. Now, you can see this Earth, right? It is very big in comparison to Mars, Mercury, Pluto, Venus. You'll agree with me, right? Now let's look at the Earth. Now, this Earth is so small if you compare it to Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Jupiter. Okay. And now we come to the sun. Now, the sun is such a huge ball of fire, right? Now, when you look at the Earth, this is a small spot. I think you can visualize it. Yes. So Earth is a small dot there. Yeah. When we compare it to the sun. Now what is happening? Now look, this is the sun, this small point which you can see, a white dot, such a small point. That is the sun when you compare it to the Sirius, Pollux, and Arcturus, right? And now let us look. Now you can hardly visualize that small point, very small, which you can hardly visualize. That is the sun when you compare it to the Antares. And Antares is not the biggest star in the sky. Antares is the 15th biggest star in the sky. Now, when you compare the sun with the Antares, and you know that the sun is such a small point. Now, when the sun is so small, how small will the earth be? And when earth is so small, how small will India be? And when India is so small, how small will Maharashtra be? And when Maharashtra is so small, how small will you and I be? Then why these big egos, my dear friends? I'm very sorry when I say this, but it so happens that we doctors have got a big ego. I call it intelligence arrogance, whatever you call it. I call it intelligence arrogance. At the back of our minds, we always have that we are the cream of the society. We were the best in the school, best in the colleges, and now also we have a big name and fame in society and all that. Now let us come to terms with the real, like you have to change your perspective about ego. Even in Mahabharata, it has been mentioned about the false and the true ego. Now, false ego is, that I'm a big surgeon and I earn so much and I have a huge mansion and so many cars and I'm the most important person in the society and blah, blah, blah things. And that is what happens, that we keep on inflating our false ego. This is our false ego. Now, and that will distance you from the people. So you cannot have a very good relationship with them. Now, if you, inflate your true ego, what is true ego? According to Bhagavad Gita, what is true ego? True ego is that you are a soul, you are a spirit, you are energy. And you are a soul and the others are also a soul. That other person is also a soul. You are also a soul. So we stand on the same platform. Samabhav. That is what is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. And when this samabhav is what you really accept, then you can build very good relationships with people. So it's very important to understand that you have to inflate, you have to increase your true ego and not your false ego. And here is where we go wrong. Well, now just have a look at this spectrum. This is a spectrum. If it's not if it is not visible very clearly, I'll just explain it to you. On the right side, there is, let's say it is black, and on the left side, let's say it is white. Okay, so on the white side, there are people who are very good looking, you know, they are beautiful, they are handsome, and they're very good in academics, they are very good in profession, they are very good family members also, and they are very good in sports, dance, and blah 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 things, right? And on the other side, like the right side, where you can see the black thing, there are people who are ugly looking. Okay, they are not good looking, they are not doing very well in academics, they are not earning as much, and they are not liked by people by nature also. They are not very good, they are not good at extracurricular activities. So people of this category are on the right side. Now my question to you is, where do you plot yourself on the above spectrum? You can write on in the chat box. Yes, where do you plot yourself on the above spectrum? And I think my answer I'm giving you is majority of us, let me say almost all of us, we fall into the gray zone. And when we are gray, why don't we accept others as gray? We are imperfect. We are imperfect. The others are also imperfect. So let us accept the person completely with all the imperfections. So when you accept the person completely with all the imperfections, then dealing with that person becomes easy. Now you're on the same platform again, because you are also having imperfections and that person is also imperfect. So fantastic. We are having a good relationship, or we can have a good bonding with this person, right? This is the second pearl which I was talking about. Now the third and very, very important one is communication. And of course, what Einstein had said, that it's not far when technology will surpass human interactions, there will be a generation of idiots. And I'm sorry to say this, that we are these idiots. Communication, you have to communicate to the real person. You have to come face to face and talk to people. Then only you'll have that bonding. Now, I think I'll take the liberty of speaking in Marathi as well, because this is a Maharashtra level platform. So I think almost everybody can understand Marathi. And these few lines are, very well written, and you will always remember them. So what these lines say are, outdated झालंय आयुष्य, outdated झालंय आयुष्य, outdated झालंय आयुष्य, दुःख स्वप्नही डाउनलोड होत नाही. आउटडेटेड झालंय आयुष्य, स्वप्नही डाउनलोड होत नाहीत, संवेदनांना व्हायरस लागलाय, दुःख सेंड करता येत नाही. जुने पावसाळे निघून गेले डिलीट झालेल्या फाईल सारखे, आणि घर आता शांत आहे रेंज नसलेल्या मोबाईल सारखे. हँग झालेल्या पीसी सारखी मनाची स्थिती वाईट, हँग झालेल्या पीसी सारखी मनाची स्थिती वाईट, आणि नाती गोती जोडणारी कुठेच नाही वेबसाईट. 21व्या शतकातली पिढी मोठी क्यूट, 21व्या शतकातली पिढी मोठी क्यूट, आणि कॉन्टॅक्ट लिस्ट वाढत चालली आहे आणि संवाद झालेत म्यूट. कम्प्युटरच्या चिप सारखा माणूस मनानं खुळा झालाय, आणि रिलेशनशिप नावाचा बोर्डच त्याच्या आयुष्यातून वजा झालाय. फ्लॉपी डिस्क ड्राईव्ह मध्ये संस्कारांना जागाच नाही, आणि फाटकी मने जोडण्यासाठी इंटरनेटवर धागाच नाही. खरंच इंटरनेटवर धागाच नाही. आणि अशी वाईट स्थिती आपली झाली नाहीये, आपण करून घेतली आहे. That is what is really bad. That we have, we have fallen into the ditch, and we don't want to come out. We are so much into the virtual world that we don't have time to speak to our loved ones. We don't have time to give quality time to our loved ones. And I mean, it's alarming. It's alarming when you read the newspaper each day, what you see. I remember one case, a boy from Karnataka, he had killed his father for not allowing him to play PUBG on the mobile. And he did not only kill his father, he also cut his hands because his father snatched his mobile from with those hands. Then people are going insane. So it is high time that we take measures. And it is not only children. I'm warning you, it's not only children, it is the parents also. And that is really, really bad. We need to come out of it. So we have to discipline ourselves and we have to do a digital detox. We have to keep the mobile aside, at least while having food, talking to your children, having some family time, doing something important. Just have the mobile maybe like half an hour in the morning and half an hour at night for important things to do. Digital detox is a must. Only then will you have good relationships. Until and unless you don't interact with real people, the real world, come out of this virtual world. It is high time, my dear friends. It is really high time. Yes. Now, what we have seen in this COVID era is there was a huge increase in the number of domestic violence. Now, there was one study which says that why domestic violence had increased during this time. In fact, actually, it was such a good time. Leave apart the cases and the mortality that was really, really bad. And the families were disturbed. People did not have food to eat and all that. But if you look at the other side, see, it was a wonderful family time because we never have so much of quality time spending with our family members. But in spite of that, there was increase in domestic violence. You know why? Because people were intruding into the spaces of the other person. There has to be me space and we space. We definitely want we space. It has to be there. But then you have to respect that other person. He or she needs privacy. And so you don't have to encroach that me space. Now, let me give you an example that when my daughter comes from the hostel and she's here for, say, 4 or 5 days, I'm so happy. And then I go and, I'm there in her room for quite a long time. But I think it is just for 1 day that she can tolerate me. I really appreciate her for pouring out her secrets and all. But then if I stay for longer time, like maybe all the 4 days, if I stay in her room, she won't like it because she has to connect to her friends. She has to study. She needs her own space. It is for everybody. It is for everybody. It is for you. It is for me. It is a must. We need our space and we need my space also. So please respect that me space along with the we space. Oh, yes. This is another very, very important thing. Conflicts. See, disagreements, arguments, little quarrels, tussles, all this are going to happen. Now, the thing which we want to clear in our minds is conflicts. Now, people say that we don't want conflicts. What should we do that we shouldn't have any conflict? See, the thing is, मराठीत म्हणतात ना की भांड्याला भांड लागलं की आवाज होणारच. Definitely, we all are staying together and our upbringing was different. We have our own opinions. There'll be differences of opinions. There'll be so many differences in our behavioral pattern. I mean, n number of different things will happen. And it is very, very, this is very true actually. It is a fact that conflicts do happen. And let us accept the fact that conflicts will happen. So let it happen. Just don't stretch it too much. Just don't, react too much. Try to respond. And the most important thing is patch up. Have a conflict, resolve it, and patch up. The important thing which I would like to underline is patch up. It's very, very important that you patch up after having a big conflict or a small conflict. As far as possible, don't have big conflicts. Just have small disagreements, small arguments, and it will happen. Accept it. Now, all this will apply to the relationships in your professional as well as personal life. But if you really want to segregate the two, then what is really, really important in professional life? Of course, this is important in personal life as well. but more so in professional life, I would say, is integrity, dignity of labor, and no loose talk. Integrity, of course, it's very important. You need to be very honest. Now, when your junior says that he or she has seen the fundus and there is papilledema, then you have to believe. I mean, of course, we will check, but then he or she should be so honest that if it is so, if she has seen the fundus, she has to report. Or if she has missed it, she has to report that also, that, okay, I have not seen the fundus. Okay. So that you don't miss out on something important, so that you don't miss out a papilledema, and then you need to refer that case to neurologist and so on and so forth. Now, dignity of labor, or say the staff. Now, when we tell that staff that you have to autoclave these instruments, you have to believe that she is autoclaved, and she should be so honest that yes, if she has autoclaved, she will say that she has autoclaved, and if she has not, of course, we will check. But then she has to be so honest that if she has not done it, she should tell us that, no, sorry, I have not done it. On this basis, these are the foundation stones of any relationship. So you have to be very honest. Second thing is dignity of labor. And I feel somewhere we are going wrong here in dignity of labor. See, there was a person named John, and he was very rich. Now, when we consider rich in India is totally different from what is rich in US. I think Sangeeta ma'am will endorse this. See, what I saw in US was like rich people means they tell you that, okay, this mountain is mine, this lake is mine. And here in India, we say, acha, wo lawn mera hai, ye plot mera hai, vagara. So there's a lot of difference. Well, so this person whose name is John, he took his friend and he was very, very rich, stinking rich. And he said that he took his friend and he took him for a ride, and then he showed him everything, like his big mansion, a huge mansion, and those luxury cars, and those huge, beautiful chandeliers and murals, and the lakes and mountains and whatnot. And then they sat for a cup of coffee. And when they sat for a cup of coffee, this person, John, he asked his friend that, what did you like the most in my empire? What did you like the most? You know what his friend had to say? This friend said that, I would like to kiss the hands of the person who has swept the floor. Do you understand? Sweeping the floor is so very important. That job is as important as doing a surgery. I mean, you have to rate everybody equally, whether it is an attendant, a sweeper, a staff, your colleagues, your juniors, all are very important. So if you rate them equally, and if they get that feeling of importance, that feeling of belongingness, definitely your relationships with them will be very strong. So dignity of labor is, I think, extremely, extremely important. And the third point is no loose talk. Yes, I'm very sorry to say this again, that I have seen very senior people, well-established doctors doing loose talk. And it is so horrible. Like, a junior comes to you for encouragement. And what he gets when his patient, suppose some patient there's a patient crossover, then what you will do is there's loose talk, and then you will say that this person doesn't do surgery well, he doesn't know, he's junior, उसने तो कुछ सीखा ही नहीं, उसको तो experience ही नहीं है. It's really bad. And then see, if you are spoiling somebody else's reputation, definitely somebody else will spoil your reputation also. So always remember that तेरे मेरे शीशे के घर फिर भी हाथ में पत्थर, तू भी सोच मैं भी सोचूं, तू भी सोच मैं भी सोचूं. So I think these 3 points are very, very important as far as professional relationships are concerned. And then we talk about personal relationships. Yes. In personal relationships, definitely unconditional love, forgiveness, and trust, along with so many others. Now, actually, relationship is such a huge topic, and like to fit it into in a slot of 45 minutes is really difficult. But then I have tried to take up the very important points. So I feel unconditional love is a must in your personal relationship. Now, what is unconditional love? I have just gone through a beautiful book, and that book, the name of the book is Kula Mamacha Deshat. It's a Marathi one. And this book, Kula Mamacha Deshat, Kula Mama is tiger, okay? Tiger in a tribal language. So tiger, and it is about the tiger. It is written like the real incidents are written by G.B. Deshmukh in this book. So it is not one of those famous books which we read always, but this is a beautiful book. And I came across a story which I would like to share here. And this is a very touching story. It is about an elephant. Now, this elephant is called as Buddha. And this elephant is Buddha, and that Mahot who looks after him, he has a son. He has a son. His name is Singer. And Singer and this elephant, Buddha, they become very good friends. They have a wonderful bonding because they play together, they grow up together. And now this elephant has become a big adult elephant, okay? Not a baby elephant. Now it's a big adult elephant. And Singer has also grown into a big man. Now, what happens? He stays in that jungle. It is a story about Melghat, actually. So they stay in the jungle, and there are certain times when this elephant, this Buddha, he becomes very wild. He becomes very wild, and he's out of control, and nobody else can control him except for this person, Singer. Now, these forest officials know this very well. So whenever problems arise and whenever Buddha is out of control, these forest officials, they go and search out for Singer, they bring him, and then this elephant is tamed. So this has been practiced many times. So one such incident is that this Buddha, he gets very wild and nobody can control him. So these forest officials go to Singer, and they tell him that they request him that you please come, and you have to control our Buddha now. So the Singer goes, and it's very well described actually in the book that the Singer goes and he tries to tame that elephant. He has got some tricks to tame that elephant, but while doing so, because they both are playing, what happens is unintentionally this Buddha, he lifts Singer and he drops him on the ground. And imagine this elephant taking one person and dropping him on the ground and then laying his foot on him, because he was playing. He was doing it unintentionally. But in this play, what happens is Singer dies. Singer dies, and when this Buddha comes to know that Singer died, the emotions, the play of emotions is so well described in it that he has the feeling of anger, he has the feeling of guilt, he has the feeling of grief, sadness, everything, and he's crying. Tears are rolling down his cheeks. And then the dead body is kept there, and Singer does not allow anyone to touch that dead body. He doesn't allow anyone to touch that dead body, and he feels, he has that feeling of guilt. It is so strong. He keeps on crying. He does not eat food for 3 days, and the forest officials did not know what to do. Then they requested some veterinary doctors to come there, and these veterinary doctors also could not do anything. They could not inject anything into this Buddha's body. So 3 days go by and nothing happens, and then he becomes so wild again. This Buddha becomes so wild that he uproots many trees and huts, and there is chaos everywhere. But ultimately, then they decide that we have to do the funeral now. So this Buddha, somehow they make a team of doctors, they make a team of veterans, veterinary doctors, and then they inject some anesthetic drugs into his body, and then he becomes drowsy, but he is still, he is still in his senses. So what he does is he puts his two legs on the ground, and there's a big pole there, and he puts his two legs on the pole. So now all the blood flow is on his heart, and this elephant is crying all the time, and this is as if to salute, give the last goodbye to his beloved singer. And as he's doing this, the blood flow goes to his heart, and these anesthetic drugs and the blood flow, all this causes him to collapse, and this elephant dies along with singer. This is a wonderful example of unconditional love, which is a true incident which has happened in Melghat. I did not have any other very good example about two human beings, so I had to give this example about an animal and a human being, and see the lovely, beautiful bond. It is beyond words to describe such a beautiful bond. So I think we humans should have such kind of unconditional love with our family members. Yes, when you talk about forgiveness, I don't know, forgiveness is really, really difficult. I think at least we should let go, if not forgive, because there's a difference between letting go and forgiving. Because letting go is, ignoring. You ignore something. Like suppose a dog comes, you are going for a walk and a dog comes and barks at you. What you will do is, okay, ignore the dog and you go along. So move along. That is let go. That is let go. But in forgiveness, what you have to do is you have to sit with that person. You have to understand his problems, why he did wrong with you, what happened, what went wrong, and then in spite of he doing wrong with you, you have to embrace that person. You have to embrace that person, and then you completely forgive him. So like now, suppose we have taken this example of a dog, then while you are going for a walk and you really want to forgive that dog, means you'll have to befriend that dog. You'll have to, even if he is barking, even if he bites you, you'll have to take biscuits for that dog, and you have to befriend that dog. You have to talk to that dog and make him a friend, and that is really, really difficult. So forgiveness, if it is possible for you, well, go ahead with it. But if it is not, at least let go. And trust, of course, trust is another very important thing which we cannot do without. You have to trust each other. I think it is really futile to check mobiles and check where people are contacting or spying upon each other. That really doesn't work in any relationship. Well, so, and when we really want to have very, very good relationships with all at your personal level, at your professional level, the most important thing is that you have to have a wonderful relationship with yourself. Only when you are happy, you can radiate happiness, right? Whatever you have, you can give. If you do not have, you definitely cannot give that. So only when you are in harmony with yourself, you will be in harmony with the universe, with everybody. So when you are happy, naturally, you will radiate happiness, and people around you will be happy, and you'll have a great bonding. So you have to be happy with yourself. That means that you'll have to have a very good self-esteem, and you'll have to, deeply and completely love yourself and accept yourself. So to wind up, we'll have a quick recap. What we learned today in these 45 minutes is we have learned the concept of relationship. We have seen that relationships are living and they are dynamic. And then I've given you 5 pearls where you have to work on. You have to have the correct perspective about your ego. You have to know that we all fall into the gray zone. Communication to the real persons is very, very important. And please respect the me space with the we space, and know that conflicts will happen, and accept it. Just don't stretch it too much. And then we have seen the 3 gems for professional relationships. integrity, dignity of labor, and no loose talk. And 3 gems for personal relationship, that is unconditional love, forgiveness, and trust. And before I wind up, I would like to give you the secret to live forever. The secret to live forever. You know, what is that secret? That secret is मौत से बचने का एक शानदार तरीका है. मौत से बचने का एक शानदार तरीका है, लोगों के दिलों में जिंदा रहना सीखो. लोगों के दिलों में जिंदा रहना सीखो. ये कफन, ये कब्र, ये जनाजा सब बातें हैं मेरे दोस्त, वरना इंसान मर तो तब जाता है जब उसे याद करने वाला कोई ना हो. So be queen and king of hearts. All the very best, and thank you so much. Have wonderful and healthy relationships at your professional and personal level. Thank you once again.
Very, very nicely put up, Anuradha.
Thank
The
you.
way you have done it, I think it is so impressive. And of course, if imbibed by each and every person, you are going to live forever in everybody's heart. That is how it is. Over to you,
so
Aarti. Great.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anuradha, for that wonderful talk and for wonderful stories. They made so much meaning to us. So can I please request you to stop your screen share?
Sure.
So before moving on to the discussion, I'll quickly introduce our panelists to you all. It's an honor to introduce Dr. Udayan Dikshit sir, who is practicing in Pune since 1985 as an ophthalmologist. He's working for about 3 months in a year in England since 1984. Special interest in glaucoma and medical retina. He has been past chairman, scientific committee of Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. He has made various presentations at national and international level. He writes articles on social issues in newspapers and magazines. He works in villages of Arunachal Pradesh along China and Myanmar borders to examine patients without taking any financial help of any organization. He has worked in many dramas and in a major role in a full-length feature film in Marathi in 1980, which won National Award and Filmfare Award as well. So it's an honor to have you, Udayan sir. And I was saying that your ophthalmology experience is more than my age. So yes, Jignesh sir.
Yeah, 2 more lines which I would like to talk about Udayan is, he is such an humble person, but he is a Bhishma Pitama of POS. Any problem, anybody approaches, he is ready to help. And always what I say is very readily approachable. At his age and it is his experience, आराम से बात कर सकते हो आप इससे. कुछ भी problem है, घर जैसी बातें करो, and he is always there ready to help. So 2 kind words. We have done our MS. Of course, he is a senior, 1 year senior to me, but the knowledge, he is absolutely an encyclopedia of ophthalmology and the world at large. Over to you, Aarti. So welcome, Uday.
Thank you, Jignesh.
Yeah, so moving on to our second panelist, Dr. Sangeeta Wagh ma'am. She is director and proprietor of Wagh Eye Clinic in Pune. She's also a consultant at Ruby Hall Clinic. She's medical director of International Eye Bank of Pune in Ruby Hall. She's past member of Board of Trustees of Hyderabad Eye Institute and Hyderabad Eye Research Foundation at LV Prasad. She's also a faculty of Maharashtra Medical Council. So she has won various awards, to name a few: President's Silver Medal in MBBS. She's also won Rotary Trophy for Talking Library Program for Visually Handicapped Persons, and YCK Pandit Award from Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society in the year 1996. So it's an honor to have you here, Dr. Sangeeta ma'am.
Yes, a word for her too, Aarti. Yeah, Trupti. Or Sangeeta, who wants to say? Maybe I misheard.
No, I said, sir, Jignesh sir, do you want to say anything for Sangeeta?
Yeah, you were saying. Okay. No, Sangeeta also, academically, she is so good, and in her topic, she is the boss. That is what I have seen. I have been following her. All my cases, if I have any problem, again, very readily approachable and ready to help. So, 2 words for her too, and a very good friend. बाकी भी कुछ पूछो, she's always there to say. So, Trupti, now over to you. Arti.
So, Dr. Trupti has done her fellowship at LV Prasad Eye Institute, Hyderabad, from the year 2009 to 2012. She specializes in pediatric ophthalmology and neuro-ophthalmology. She's into private practice in Nagpur since the year 2013. She has various presentations in national and international conferences to her credit. So we are pleased to have you here with us, Dr. Trupti.
Yeah, इनका भी अंदर की बात बताता हूँ कि within last 2 years in the COVID times, she has joined the investment part and she is now the boss. She's ready to take us on the technical level, at the topmost level. She can give a run for the money to all the professional investors. That good she is. Of course, academically also very sound. So over to you for the panel discussion. Welcome, Trupti. Welcome, Sangeeta, and
Thank
welcome,
you, sir.
Uday.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have extreme panelists with us. So I have one first question for Uday sir. So sir, we have spoken a lot about professional relationship. So you have worked in Indian scenario as well as in UK scenario. So what difference do you find, and what advice do you have for youngsters? Like, what is the culture, professional culture difference, and how do we cope up with that? Over to you, sir.
Arti, one of the major difference. Am I audible, Arti?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
are.
Yeah. One of the major difference. Let's think two things. One is professional relationship with the patients and professional relationship with your colleagues. One major difference in professional relationship with the patients is in the United Kingdom, because of the system of NHS or National Health Service, the patient himself or herself never pays you. So there is no exchange of money between the patient and the doctor. So a lot of problems. I think any problem which comes in as far as professional relationship with the patient is concerned is because of two things. One, arrogance of the doctor, which Arundhati madam also said at the beginning, that we consider that we are something great, some special breed or something, which we certainly are not. So one is arrogance and second is money. These are the two reasons because of which the relationships between a patient and a doctor become sour. In England, that doesn't exist because the patient doesn't pay you. The government pays you a salary and you ask a patient to undergo any surgery, any tests. They don't have any questions in their mind because you're not going to get any extra money because of that procedure. So there is no conflict of interest. That's the first thing. And second, the same thing will percolate into relationships with your colleagues because there is nothing like private practice. So when money is involved, or I want to have some kind of an one-upmanship over my rival, I will sort of use bad words, which is a very, very wrong thing. So because of the system itself, how the medical practice is run, there are drawbacks in the way NHS works also. Nothing is absolutely right and absolutely great. So there are certain drawbacks, but because money is not involved in the medical practice in the UK, I think the interpersonal relationships don't become so sour because you don't have to score at all over the other person. While over here, it's a rat race. It's a big competition between the colleagues, and the patients always doubt you because you're going to take money from. These are the two major differences in the practice in UK and India.
Jignesh sir, would you like to comment?
Yes, really, as Udan rightly put it, when money is there, exchange of money, always it's the root of all evils, as we rightly said. In Indian perspective, here, on an individual level, when you practice, you always see that your colleague is doing a little better. So the ego comes up to me, isse acha karu, aur iska pair kaise khichu. So that is one thing that we have, and that is exactly what Anu also said. Keep your ego aside and see how you yourself develop your relationship on all levels, right at the individual level, at the social level, and at the professional level. This is definitely goes a long way. What Udayan said, I am with him. I second his opinion very much.
So moving on to a question related to personal life. Sangeeta ma'am is currently in US with his son. She's probably gone to just visit him. So, ma'am, we all know that you have busy practice in Pune, and taking a break to visit your son and come back. You take a break from your professional life to, give importance to your family life or your kids. And how do you cope up with this? Or given a chance, like if your son would have been in India, do you think it would have been easy for you to manage? And over to you, ma'am, for your comments.
So what I'd like to share to all the mothers who are listening in, my story goes back to almost 30 years when my practice started. And Udayan and Dr. Jignesh know very well that for a long time I was a single parent. And when I started my practice, there were two things I promised myself: that my children should never be wanting for any affection or the time. And though I was one of the first qualified corneal surgeons in the city, and many of my seniors from outside of Pune asked me whether I would come, say one Sunday in a month, I promised myself that that Sunday has to be for my children. So that is how I started right at the beginning. There was, I could have been all over the state of Maharashtra. In fact, Dr. Grant, who was my mentor, he said that your generation is very lazy. Every Sunday, I would go in a different direction of Maharashtra to 4 to 5 places. Why don't you do that? So I said, sir, the Sunday is for my children. So even though I was invited to Nashik, Jalgaon, all the seniors who had only my goodwill and my professional betterment in mind, when they asked me to come, I put a stone on my mind as far as profession goes. And I said, I must promise my children this one day, because Monday to Saturday, I can give them only a few hours. Likewise, when they had summer vacations for like 2 months, I promised myself that whatever it cost me, for at least 3 to 4 weeks, I would go away, because that was the time we bonded. And I remember I was traveling to Hyderabad because I had very close friends. I still have at LV Prasad. Trupti will also know that the LVP alumnus is such a huge family, though I was one of the first fellows. I was traveling and it was Diwali vacation. So we would take vacations in summer as well as Diwali. That is when the children had a big break. And another close associate at Ruby Hall was sitting with his laptop and he said, कुठे चाललीस? म्हटलं आम्ही हैदराबादला चाललो. किती दिवस? म्हटलं 15 दिवस. He said, 15 दिवस? How can you afford in a practice to go away? I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to Solapur because I'm going to be operating 4 surgeries. And after that, I have a CME. I said, you're wasting your Sunday. And that was the point I tried to make, So for all of us, like Dr. Anu has put it so well, that we must have a separate compartment, a time where we bond, because these are the memories we have created for our children. And I always used to make them promise. I said, when you grow up and have a family, promise your family that you will have this special us time. And today it was 2 long years. And I really cherish the last 15 days that I have had with my husband, Dr. Surud. We've come here. Our daughter couldn't be here because she is applying for the PG NEET. And we've promised ourselves wherever in the world the family is, we must spend this time together.
So correct. Yeah, quality time is so important nowadays. In the rat race, what Udayan just said, there's so much to run around. If the professional life is always unending. वो ये कह रहे तो और आगे और 2 सर्जरी कर दो, वो ये बुला रहा है तो वहां भी जाओ, ये बुला रहा है तो इधर भी जाओ. But what you rightly said, Sangeeta, do agree with you too. I have also been a single parent, and looking after the way it is quite difficult. You need to balance both the personal and professional life. And of course, you call it as a sacrifice or you love it, both ways. It should be done, but you have to have your space. My space and us space is so important. Yes, Aarti.
Sir, would you like to ask question to Dr. Trupti, or maybe meanwhile I'll just ask. So after hearing from 2 experienced people about personal and professional life, Dr. Trupti, you probably might be a little senior to me and not as senior as our other panelists. So what do you see the difference between our generation and their generation in working and in the work style and the managing a family?
Yeah, true. I think I'm thankful to Jignesh sir and everybody. I'm quite junior compared to other two people around you, though we would be of the same age around. Well, I would just like to say our generation is the only generation, probably my generation is the only generation. Have I lost a link?
No,
No,
you
you're
are
there.
audible.
We can hear
You are
you.
very
We can
much
hear
with
you.
us.
Okay.
We are
Because-
hearing you very patiently.
Yeah.
That's an important
I
link.
think my generation is the only one who is hearing from my son also and from my parents also. So it is the only generation, who is sandwiched between both of them. Definitely, we value our elders, what they have imbibed in us, and we do follow all those things. But in today's age, I would just like to say that being a doctor, we always try to, give more balance to our professional life more when it comes up to the personal as well as professional thing. We try to give more importance to the professional if anything comes. But important is giving space to the personal relationship is very important, because at times it does happen that we sorry, okay, are you
Yeah,
able to hear? Actually, I can't see the screen. I don't know, somehow my
No,
laptop.
we are
You
hearing
are
you.
very much with us.
Very much audible and seen also. Trupti, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, it is both the sides, and we have to balance at both the ends. But I feel like in today's era, we are more competitive. People run behind more of luxuries. But at the end of the day, what I find is like spending some time and giving importance to the family should be there. We should be balancing it up. That's more important, because if we are not, giving this attention now to the family, what our children are going to learn from us also. They will learn the same thing, what, be professional, don't pay, and they would be more into a virtual. So for me, like interacting with my son, giving some space, I second the thought of Sangeeta madam, that I try to spend much time with my son. I try to help him out. And professionally also, I should say, like in a professional relationship, definitely in today's time, everybody should come together with the thoughts rather than just doing a solo practice, or coming together and doing a group practice without an ego can help you to build a better institute in future, and work together is my thought. Like if few of the less egoistic people come and they can survive, they can build up their professional, their professional practice in a much better way than their solo practice if like-mindeds are together. This is my way of thought, and this is very much required in today's time. I don't know when this would be taken in address. At few places it's due, but those tiny steps needs to be taken professionally also, and help to build a better relationship with this patient also, giving the best services with the best people around in under the one roof. This is my way of thinking. That's all from my side.
Very nicely put up, Trupti. I had Trupti in mind today because, as Aarti said, our generation with her generation, what problems they are facing and what is their perspective on the relationship angle, both the personal and professional. Very nicely put up. My question to the whole panelists, including Anu, is Dr. Anuradha Tote, regarding the rates of rise in divorces. what is the root cause you feel should be, and how to be take it out and see that the rates fall. Maybe one reason is ego, second is professional rivalry within the family, third could be the temperaments are not okay, and many more. So I would like all the panelists to answer on this question. It's of course a negative thing, but let's have come out with something, some positive thoughts and tackle the situation, because single parents are seen everywhere nowadays and the rates are rising. We are following the Western world on this. So more to it, each one of you can give your views, please. Uday, I think you can start.
I can say because of two things, because of leading a life, but more importantly, because my wife Naina has been running a marriage bureau as a social service since 1987. That is about 35 years. It's very sad to say that she has a huge database of girls and boys who come to her and the parents to get their children married. But she has a file is equal of naive girls and boys who have not get married, and 50% almost of divorced boys and girls.
Correct.
Which has changed a lot since 1987 when she started till now. This we do as a social service. And what we have realized is what is the reason for these increased number of divorces across the line, across social and economic strata, across various castes and everything. One of the things is the tolerance level has gone down.
Yes.
In the whole society, the tolerance level has gone down. Did the problem not exist in the past and they exist today? Not at all. The problems were there even in yesteryears. But very, very unfortunately, the girls used to muli sagrahe sahan karaicha. They used to tolerate all this because there was a social taboo on a girl getting divorced. The typical sentence highlighted in movies is the girl's parents used to say, अब ये दरवाजे तुम्हारे लिए बंद हैं. But now ये दरवाजे उसके लिए बंद नहीं है. So that was a social taboo. So they didn't welcome.
Correct.
So the girls suffered. Second very major difference is the girls very, very correctly and very fairly are now financially independent. That has made a huge difference. So many girls don't get married. If they get married, if something happens, they know that they are financially independent. They can stand on their own feet. So they are not going to listen to any nonsense. So they will say that, well, goodbye, and I'm going. But sometimes these things are, we have noticed in these 13 years through the marriage bureau, they are misused because typically many girls come to us and boys, and the mother says that thoda sa bhi kuch problem ho jaye na to bas sochna nahi, aa jao wapas. That is a very wrong advice because marriage is a big compromise. It was and it is. If you say कि थोड़ा सा भी कुछ problem आ जाए तो वापस आ जाओ, it's not the correct advice of the parents. So these are the various aspects because of which divorces are more common.
So nicely put up, huh? Very good. Sangeeta, your view?
I feel, the whole concept of a nuclear family has kind of disintegrated. Most of the families are working couples with children, and the whole buffer of having an elder in the house could be a sounding board, could be a binding factor has gone. And like I grew up with my grandparents, my children always had my in-laws or my parents around. And because of that, I think like Dr. Udayan said, the tolerance limits of both individuals in a couple are stretched to a point. And like he said, the ability to compromise and look at the bigger picture, and probably, your responsibility to your children is what should be kept in mind. And I think earlier, like he said, the social stigma was there, but also for a child and his psychology, one would take that extra care to stay together at least till the children grew up. And now we found that more and more children are, they need counseling either with an intact family or a broken family. And I feel the role of elders in the house and their absence has a huge bearing.
Quite right. The buffer effect has totally gone. And that is where the Hindu undivided family. That is the next question which I would like to ask. Whether we do redo again, because I remember we were staying in match of the Bajaj Electricals colony, and we had a huge get together about the friends for all the occasions, right from Diwali, Holi, and this. So any problems, not only the family, but even the friends used to come up. Arey bhai, hum hai na aapke saath. Ye sab, don't take this wrong step. So that is how it is. I think, are we missing that? That is a big question. So, Trupti, your view, your generation now, what would you say about it?
So the problem with the means I would say the multiple episodes of divorce or other thing is that if you take both the groups which are working around, definitely they want their own freedom. Okay, everybody wants their own freedom and their space to live. They are not ready to compromise on the space. They want their own freedom, but there should be some line of control being designed by them. It should be individually. If they have to flourish, or if they have to make their married life successful, there are many sacrifices which comes. It
From
is
both
not,
sides.
yeah, it's equally from the both sides. But according to the Hindu thing, a female is a more sacrificer. She has to put down a lot compared to the male. Definitely, it can be balanced. It's not the thing. It can't be balanced. But at times when two things are at the same level, then the friction comes. And that this generation nowadays, like everybody wants to be, they don't want to commit presently into relationships. If you see, many of them above 25s or 30s, they don't want to get married, or they don't want to go into liabilities. Many, I have seen few of the members in my own family also, as well as outside also, who are juniors to me. Those are the, I feel like some generation lag is, as a parents, we can't force now, because the other factor what is there is that their emotional tolerance has been decreased now. The emotional tolerance, even in the small kids, what we say, if we go into the school, there is an emotional intelligence where it is being taught to the child once it goes how to handle those situations. But sometimes this emotional tolerance level is getting decreased. The day you feel that it's up, then you feel like to quit, and you're not ready to compromise. But I feel that if you want to have a good relationship, it is always good to give an equal time. Definitely, sometimes, it does happen, like the work pressures which are there around, where the work pressures are sometimes, brought home also. And that also creates some friction also. What I feel is that. But if you balance work as well as family, if you are in a stressful positions, taking few breaks, definitely it will bring down your stress levels. Interacting with your friends, that is also very much important. The more the competitive, the more the I said the just to have a luxurious or a very grand life, all those things can't be taken together. What I feel is that one has to know till what level he can limit himself and how he can adjust with his life. That only can lead to a successful life. That's my point of view.
Very nicely put up. Arti, now, Anuradha, I would like to have your view. What are the baby steps? As you rightly said, virtual detox is one thing because everybody's got addicted to the mobile. And if you have a family of 5 or 6 sit in, even at the dinner table, they are at the mobile while eating and they don't speak to each other. That is what even in the serials they have shown, and otherwise also in real time, we see people around. So that was one that you have told. Of course, you have covered majority of it, but the practical view, how to go and baby steps, the yoga, meditation, counseling sessions, or what all should is required. And like to have the panel's view on this too. Let's start with Anuradha.
Yes, sir. A balanced view on what do you want exactly? Like, what's your question exactly?
My point is, what are the solutions for this? The divorce rates are going on, single
Okay.
parents are there.
Yes, yes.
You talked about it, ego chhod do, ye chhod do, practical part
Yeah.
is there. So how do we go baby step? भाई उसको ये बंदे को ego क्यों ज्यादा है? तो what will help him calm down? Meditation,
Yes.
yoga. What are the things we take them out of this? Because this is becoming an epidemic and pandemic on a big
Very
scale.
true.
So we need
Very
to
true.
address this, and that is why this lecture is so important. Beyond
Yeah.
ophthalmology, we are discussing because it affects everybody's life, including the
Yeah.
ophthalmologist. Yeah.
Yeah. So first thing, like, of course, Udayan sir has put up in a wonderful way that tolerance has come down, and that females have also become, financially independent. Now, again, to add to this, I would like to say that too much of importance is being given to oneself. Too much of I am very important. Okay, now the whole world is going about that I am very important, but along with me, others are also important. That feeling has to be inculcated since the very childhood. One thing is that. Second thing is, the young generation looks at everything in a very superficial way. That is what I feel. I mean, the depth is missing. Now,
Right,
what?
right.
Yeah, like what I feel, even till my generation, like what it is for me is like my parents. I cannot change my parents. Similarly, I can. It is a bond which is, it is made in heaven or whatever you say. That yes, I cannot change my parents. I cannot change my spouse.
You can.
Because once you are married, you are married. I mean, you didn't have a choice. Now it is not so. So it has, wo jo saath fere, that pandit, I feel he should tell the meaning of that saath fere when they take the saath fere, because they don't understand. They don't understand the depth of it.
Correct.
So they need to understand the depth of that relationship. That is one thing which I feel. And third most important thing I would like to say is money culture prevailing over value culture.
Correct.
We are running after money like, it's a rat race, and we all have 86400 seconds in a day, right? Now, if you are running after money, all those 86400 seconds, when will you have time to give to your family? When will you have that quality time? When will there be bonding between you? You are almost always working and running after money and giving so much importance to branded clothes and classy cars and blah blah things. And then the expectations of this generation have increased so much. Like there are divorce cases, I've come through, I take personal counseling also along with these sessions which I take for masters. Now there are some people, they want divorce. You know why? Because my husband or my boyfriend did not remember my birthday. It is as stupid as this. I mean, they have to change their mentality. The mental framework has to be changed completely. So I think, yes, and as you have very rightly said, sir, meditation plays a very important role into this. If you go through that spiritual way, you meditate in whatever way you want, like it's om chanting, or it is tai chai, or you're listening to music, or you're playing your guitar, or whatever. It is ultimate relaxation basically, and you are connecting to your higher self. So when you connect to your higher self, you get a broad perspective of what this universe is and what relationships are. So then you come to know that, okay, what I told about false ego and true ego. So you come to that level of true ego, that he's or she is also a soul and I am also a soul. We are on the same platform. Let us deal with each other in that way. So spirituality and meditation definitely helps. And second thing is the conflicts, which are, it goes into a blast nowadays. So this happens because the people are not calm and cool. they are not tolerant. They just want to, there are outbursts. So meditation will definitely help them in this way also, that you be calm and cool for some time, you have patience, just let time pass by, everything will heal, things will come back to normal. So all these steps, if they are taken, I think people will have good relationships and the divorce rates will come down.
Yeah, rightly said. I think a quick word from Sangeeta and Udayan also, and then we wind up the show. So it's been very interesting the way the whole session has gone. Udayan and Sangeeta?
So there's something I'd like to share, like what we, the digital world has kind of broken up families. So what one needs to do is make a conscious effort to do activities together. It may be simple thing like playing cards together, the whole family together, or maybe just playing board games, or going to see a movie together in a theater, or going to a restaurant. These are things that help to keep the family together, to have common hobbies maybe, or even traveling together. These kind of seem to get forgotten because everybody has their own timetables, they have their itineraries, and they want to follow them individually. Children, you're hosting a dinner and then you say, okay, so-and-so is over for dinner. They say, oh, mom, I'm going out with my friends. So we must make it a point, like even today, my children, wherever they are, if they are in the city and we are hosting a dinner, they will have the meal with us. After a meal, they say bye to all the guests and then they can go out with their friends. So
Baby
like, I
steps
think,
to really work. Yeah.
yeah, and these values have to be instilled right from the beginning, that it's not okay for you to have your own agenda when there's something happening, or you have guests coming to stay with you. You can't go off on a picnic with your friends. You may not see your cousins. So I think this discipline has to be brought in for a couple together, for each other, as well as to the family when the little ones come in.
Quite right. Uday?
I feel that one has to, because we have amongst three panelists one very young person, I think we have to see that there are phases in life. Early phase in life, earning money is very important for yourself and family. Somehow in Indian culture, it is considered that earning money is some kind of a sin, that you're doing something wrong, that you're giving priority to earning money. Absolutely not. One must earn money for yourself and family. But then a phase comes when money becomes secondary important and you must give importance to other things in life. When you're earning money, fortunately at a young age, at that time, parents of both sides are there and they can compensate for looking after your family. That's where the role of a joint family or some kind of a compromise where your families are close to you. They will, from both the parent side, the grandparents will look after the kid comes. Part comes when, unfortunately, they may not be there, but at that time, you must learn that ultimately in later part of your life, your wealth is not how much money you have. Your wealth is how many people are there to help you.
Correct.
When the time comes, you may have 1 crore of rupees at your home, but you need a person to help you at that time. So that is your wealth. After a certain age, it's not how much money you have, how many people are there who will just come out and help you, whatever difficulty you have. That is your wealth. And in fact, and to the very last end of your career, I would feel that real wealth is if you are left with no money, what are you worth? That is a real wealth. But that is too far ahead for youngsters. It will be useless to know that. But at least these first two parts, that initial phase, of course, you must earn money for yourself and your family. But after a little while, consider that the wealth is the people who will help you and not just the money. So you have to have a good work-life balance.
Yes, very nicely said, Udayan. I think, as always, you give the right type of advice, whether it is ophthalmology or beyond. Trupti, a few words from you before we wind up. It's a long session.
I would just like to
11,
say
I think.
that definitely relationships really are important. I myself stay in a joint family where my in-laws are there together. Me and my husband, as well as his elder brother and family. So here what we have means my husband had always insisted me, like, if you want to come to Nagpur, you have to stay with my family. That's my first priority. I won't be leaving my parents ever.
Wow.
Neither I would be, going at different place or working. Don't at all think for me. For me, my both parents are God. Even if I don't worship God, for me, they are God. That's what's the thing, like what he had told. Nothing. And
Thank you. Yeah, bolo.
yeah, means those for the time, like in today's time, what I feel is that if my generation is there, my kid is there, he will try to see the same thing and he will try to percolate the same thing in his future. It would be possible looking at all the things around. So staying together is also important, but sharing and helping each other, respecting each other is more important in a relationship. I know many up and down comes, but one has to support and come out with it with flying colors with the help of everyone. It does
Fantastic.
help. It does help all of us around. So this is my way of thinking. Even if the trouble comes, don't matter. Just share it with the person whom you trust or with the person whom you believe, and come out with the options and solutions. That's what is from my side.
So nicely put up. You are so matured at your age, Trupti. Lots of suggestions you have given to your generations, and of course, our generation, Udayan, Sangeeta, and Anu have rightly put up. All the session has been one of the most interesting sessions. So, of course, it is almost 11 years. Maybe at Sangeeta's place, it must be 1 o'clock, right? And we really enjoyed it. I'm really thankful to Dr. Anuradha, Udayan, of course, Sangeeta, Trupti, and Aarti have done it very nicely, the moderation also. So proper thanksgiving by Dr. Rajesh Joshi. Before that, we have the video of enrolled people to showcase their products. Yeah, Sayyid, over to you. And then we have a gallery shot of all the faculty together. Sayyid, are you there? Ashwin? Thank you, Endowed people, for the excellent video, a short video showing all the life journey of Endowed. I'm sure everybody has taken the pearls of wisdom. Our expert panelists and our speaker have really given us tips and pearls of wisdom to have a healthy relationship, both at the personal and the professional life. Over to you, Rajesh, for your official vote of thanks. Thanks each one of you for being here, and also the August audience who have been listening past 11. Gallery view shot first before we go in for the vote of thanks. Everybody have the video on, please. Trupti, you too.
Speakers to put on the camera, please.
Yeah, put your video on.
It's on. I think there is some problem. Is it on now?
Yeah, it is on. Thoda sa darking hai. Theek hai, it's
Yeah,
fine.
1 sec, I'll help you.
Yeah, you need to put on an extra light, Dr. Tripti.
Yeah.
Or just face the light.
Yeah, that now it's fine.
Yeah, good enough.
Yeah.
So, once you are through, you tell me. Sayyad?
It's done, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Over to you, Rajesh.
Yeah, that was really a wonderful discussion on personal and professional relationship. The essence of today's discussion is the communication. Communication is the key for maintaining professional and personal relationship. As usual, Anu, your talk was flawless, mesmerizing, and to the point and time. You covered almost all points important for maintaining healthy relationships. Thanks for sparing your family time for all of us. I'm also thankful to Dr. Udayan Dikshit sir, Dr. Sangeeta Wagh madam, Trupti for inputs, and of course, Aarti for conducting sessions so well. Thanks to Entor for the technical support and all those who have joined on virtual platform. Thank you all and good night to everyone.
Fantastic. As usual, the real punchline, communication. Very good.
Very true, that is.
Very true. Unless you communicate, you keep quiet, you go away. Anyway. Chalo, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for the
Thank you,
opportunity.
sir.
Thank you, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Anuradha ma'am,
everyone.
for the excellent
Thank
talk.
you,
Thank you.
Can we have the head count? Stop the recording and let us know the head count.
Yeah,
and
sure,
the
sir.
Facebook and please